All right, here we are. Wing the Sports Lounge. And we have my good friend, Rodney Brown, man. He's like a big bro to me. Played at DeSoto, cornerback, and he played at SFA, cornerback. And that's when we really got close because he was the DB, I was a receiver, and we had our battles. And then I had to lick my wounds when he take me home on 2.5-hour road trip back to DeSoto. So we appreciate you coming on, Rod B.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, man. And we was just chatting earlier, and I caught up with him earlier today, going down memory lane, man. He's doing good. He's living in the north side of town. He moved up like George and Weezy. He's living in Little M. They got beaches and stuff out there for those who haven't visited the area.
Man,
taxes and traffic.
House-wise, a little Facebook account too. Y'all might want to peep that.
But yeah, man, a solid dude, man. I appreciate everything he done for me. He actually pushed me to be better because, you know, I played running back in high school. So when I got to SFA, you know, moving to receiver, you know, it was no holds barred. You know, I had a lot to prove because I came on a half scholarship. So I'm trying to get that full ride. So yeah, we had our battles, and yeah, or I'll be maybe better. That's all I can say.
Both ways for that one, definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, man, let's talk a little bit about your experience up there at SFA. What made you pick SFA when you was getting recruited?
No, that's a good question. I'm originally from Lufkin, which is about 15 miles from Nacogdoches or Nowhere, right? And so my grandparents lived there. I was raised by my grandparents partially. And it was just a comfortable decision for me at the time. So
home away from home. It makes sense because I visited your folks and met your cousin that went to Arkansas.
Yeah.
That's why I want to ask you. Did he play with Dez Bryant?
No, he didn't play with Dez. He was fun fact. Sparky, as we call him, Sparky Hamilton. He was actually Dez's Big Panther, or the equivalent of a big brother when Dez was a younger brother. I got what you're saying. So yeah, but there is a connection there. Dez is very familiar with Sparky very familiar with Dez. Yeah.
Because when I was thinking about it, it's like, man, I remember I was like, man, we went to visit his cousin because I had another Arkansas linebacker on who married one of our classmates, and I was like, man, you know Sparky, and that just started bringing you up. I was like, it's just a small world how we all connected, and you don't even realize the connections we have. But yeah, man. And coming out of DeSoto that year, Mo, I want to say, Rob, be reminded, we had 13 people sign football scholarships that year, man.
13, yep. 13, yep. 13.
I thought it was 11, but it was 13. But 13. I mean, from SFA, K-State, Houston, Texas Tech, where else? Because the
Tulane.
Who went to Tulane?
We had one of the offensive linemen went to Tulane. I can't remember. I actually had a picture somewhere. My apologies. We had Tulane.
Williams went to TCU. Darrell Williams, I remember him.
Darrell went to TCU. We had Sam Houston.
UTEP.
Yep, UTEP. Todd. Yep, Todd went to UTEP. Sam. Yep.
All over, man. You know what I'm saying?
And then we know 5 people went to Texas Tech or ended up going to Texas Tech. Three at the time went to Texas Tech, but
I think I might.
And then U of H. Larry originally signed at U of H, so U of H was another one.
U of H. Yep.
Yeah, that was deep.
One class.
one class.
Yeah, I was deep.
But then that next year they went what? Jimmy went Minnesota, Zuri went Florida, Courtney went
Arizona State.
Like, you know what I'm saying? They start getting, riding.
It was huge. I mean, huge.
Yeah, man, y'all boys kicked open the door, and that's why I wanted to talk to Courtney because he the one that really started bringing out, DeSoto was the you. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, I just seen LO at the barbershop. I used to see Courtney up there selling them damn T-shirts.
I mean, he's the originator of it, man.
I agree with you. I wish he was on his card.
Certainly.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry, Coach.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get him on, regardless of him not making the day. We're gonna have to bring him on because, like I said, I didn't realize he was doing as big as he was because all I would see on Facebook, because we weren't Facebook friends really, But I would just see Christopher Curry doing his thing with the little Havoc Little League team. So when I wanted to bring Courtney on, I just started looking at it. I was like, well, damn. You know, he was going to Florida at the beginning of December, so he couldn't come on the show. So I was like, you know, let's wait till you get back from Florida, and we'll do the show then. So, you know, I guess some things came up. We couldn't make it today, but you know, that's cool. You know, that's life.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Courtney is the epitome of hard work and collaboration. And it may look like, oh, he's doing this now. I can show, and I was saying, I hope he was on here. Show communications of Courtney, like honing that craft 15, 17, 18 years ago.
No, yeah.
Where he's reaching out to me around small things around communications and websites, and just the diligence in what he was doing that many years ago. He was so far ahead of the game in his vision. And I can actually say I was one of the people that heard part of that vision years and years ago. So I'm so happy to see my man being so blessed and helping so many people right now.
Hey, Robbie, LO, say what's up.
What's going on, LO?
Yeah, so he watching. But
that's the greatest right there. We already know. I mean, LO, that's the staple right there. And you talking about the people that did it before us. When you look at the continuity that they had, you know, the big three, particularly LO, right, Behan and Stacy. That's it right there.
There you go. Yeah. And you want to know what I really used to like about the DeSoto back was the little dude who used to do the t-shirts, the Jaws t-shirts, and he have like, man, that dude was a hell of an artist, man. I want to say his name was Rooney.
Wow. You bring me down memory lane every Friday.
Man, we used to love them shirts. Them shirts was something else, man.
Every Friday.
Wow. I still have mine.
See what I'm
Do you really, BT?
Wow. So, but I want to say what LO was so smooth, man. It's like when he be in that pocket and he be under pressure, it's like he always had one of them look, fake that shoulder, go the other way, you know what I'm saying, come back, and it's just like prototypical what you expect, and the height, everything, man. LO, you know, they set the tone, man, because I hadn't seen nothing like that till I got to DeSoto.
They were some ballers. Coming to DeSoto, you know, I didn't know what to expect, you know, coming from South Oak Cliff area, right? Coming to DeSoto in the mid 90s. But it was the boss ball. Out of control.
Yeah, man.
Out of control.
What you know, I grew up in Oak Cliff, man. I went to Unfree, I went to Martin Wise, I went to Horsey, and I went to Brown for 1 year. Then we shot to DeSoto. But what made me really a DeSoto fan was we made the playoffs my sophomore year, and I couldn't make it because I hurt my knee. But when Carter came over and did the field house like that, man, it was like there was no way. If you came to practice every day and you put in them dudes and you came and you seen what they did to the field house, it was like you bought in, you wanted to beat them so bad. So when the game started, Mo, Carter had our number. I want to say, when we fumbled on the opening kickoff, how did this start off, B? I mean, Rob B. This your senior game. I know you remember.
Oh, yeah, you talking about
at Texas Stadium.
Texas Stadium. Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I believe that opening drive, there was it was a fumble, but I think it was ruled. I think they ended up re-kicking it, I believe. But we started off a little rocky.
Was it 14-0? Something like that we was down?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a 7-0. LO gonna remember that off the top. I don't know if it was 7-0 or 14-0. Somebody have to keep me honest, but we started off a little rocky. Like the first 3 or 4 plays were
series, really something rocky. Like that.
Yeah, really, really rocky. But I would say that was probably one of the best game plans that I've ever really kind of seen in a long time, even at the collegiate level. Like when I say the coaching staff at DeSoto had their number, even down to the trick play kickoff return that they did, everybody would freeze and let them watch it. Coach was like, "Let's go blow it up." I think we got 2 fumbles off of that, and they stopped doing that return, and they had been doing that same return the entire year, right? Yeah. And so I think that was one of the pivotal plays. There was several of them, but that was one of those pivotal plays that kind of helped turn the tide for us.
LO just said they had a 10-0 lead. It was a 10-0
lead. Thanks, LO.
So yeah, I knew it was double digits, and I was like,
balling out of control in that
I was on my crutches, man. I wanted to be on that sideline so bad because that's when we get to move up, go to the playoffs and stuff. So I was on my crutches. I couldn't make the game, so I'm watching from the stands. And you know, my family, they went to two of my cousins, they went to Carter, so you know, they talking their shit or whatever. But I want to say by second quarter, you know, the tide had changed, and DT, you probably on the sideline. You probably, you know,
DT was there.
You had got moved up a couple of games.
Yeah, DT baller.
Yeah.
So yeah, you had got moved up a couple of games. You know, B-Hand wasn't getting subbed out, so what? I wasn't finna get none of that shine. I just wanted to be a part of, you know, the crew. I just wanted to be a part of that energy. But at the final score, Mo, 52-27. 52-27. And yeah, man, and like that was, I know that's by far the best team the Soil have had. It's
that was the fall of Carter then.
He say the fall of Carter.
It was.
Yeah, they had some good. Yeah, that's some good teams after that. But
Yeah,
that was
those two teams that year, man. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Of on that.
Yes.
a lot of talent on the field. You talking about
Carter's putting out.
Patterson.
Carter probably put about 11 cats that year too.
It was.
They had. I think they may have had more that year. Somebody gonna have to catch me on that one. But I mean, they had some legendary talent. Legendary talent.
I know Rob definitely remembers, but you know, Eric Moore was a lefty.
That's what I just said. Emo, yes. Back then, going to Oklahoma. Back
first
then,
time we had ever seen the pistol formation. So I think that kind of slowed us down a little bit. But then he played that game right-handed.
The quarterback?
Yes.
I didn't know. Now I didn't know that.
Yes, he was a lefty.
I know that.
That game right-handed.
That's
why did he do that?
He had sprained his left. He had sprained his wrist the week before.
Oh, because of an injury. Okay, I didn't know that.
That's why they were in because he couldn't take the snap.
That's gangster. That's a gamer right there.
Yeah, he's definitely a baller.
Like a big old brace on his wrist. He couldn't throw. But he threw that thing with his right hand.
Man.
Hello, let me get a fact check on that. Hello, where you at?
I'm telling you.
Really?
He said need a fact check because I remember they had a nice tight end. I can't remember his name.
Andre Patterson. Patterson.
Yeah, I remember they had a nice tight end.
All world.
Hello, it should have been 70-something. Had 3 touchdowns called back.
He right.
Big headache. And he went to Oklahoma State, the running back.
Yeah, Andre Richardson.
I remember him. That was the only two I remember.
Him and his brother, Terrence and Andre.
Eric Moore, he went to Oklahoma.
Yep.
QB.
And you had Ronnie Burns. I think he went to Oklahoma State. He was the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had Kendall. I think that was the name. He went to Maryland, I believe.
See, that was 2 years ahead of him. I couldn't.
Yeah, that was their number one receiver. He went to Maryland. He was their number one receiver at Carter at the time.
They was tough in South Dallas area back then.
But that's where Missouri was getting recruited too. Remember, that's one who dropped it down on him in the test scores.
That's what they say.
I mean, that's what I heard.
What they say.
Allegedly.
That's
the phone.
But okay, so and with Courtney just responded. Let me see what he say. He say young.
Oh, LO, he couldn't touch you, big dog. Trust me, man. LO threw the only ball that I was afraid to stick my hand out to try to intercept it, dog. He had so much heat on the hitch route one day.
Hey, but let me tell you, if you did intercept LO's ball, I know we got some video of it.
Man,
LO knocking cats out. Like you intercepted that ball if you want to.
Yeah.
The few that he did throw, them brothers. I've never seen a quarterback that big get over there and make a tackle. Yeah, that's what LO.
Okay. Here you go, the man of the hour.
Man,
he get the ball,
man.
D-Jack, Coach Jack, what's going on, man?
Ain't nothing much. Look like some football people in this chat. Who all in here?
All right. Well, you know Rob B, that's your fellow teammate. You know DB, you know, this sound like DBU over here. I feel like the outcast right here. And then we got my boy Maurice, man, my frat brother from SFA, man.
Okay. My apologies, y'all, for being a little late, man. I got my son in town, my stepson in town, and we were talking about some stuff and blink my eye and I'm a little late.
Better late than never. Better late than never, baby. We good.
All right.
Yeah. And so glad to have you, man. You know, I did not already put your resume out there, man. But you can speak for yourself. So those of you who don't know, we have Courtney Jackson, man. I call him Hustle, man, because I've always seen him out there putting whatever he had on his mind out there on everybody else's mind. From the T-shirts with the U to the J's to everything you can think of, man. I just want to say we wasn't Facebook friends. But when
Yeah.
I went and looked at your Facebook, man, and I seen all you've been doing with this little league, man, all I could do was just be in awe of what you accomplished, man. I just want to say, man, I love everything I seen.
Yeah, it's a different phase I'm in right now. I've done the high school coaching. Was fortunate enough to um, try to play a little football on every level, and then go from trying to be a grad assistant at Arizona State and working with the media, doing radio, co-hosting a radio show out there for a couple years, and pregame show in college, and I think of it from a standpoint of a lot of bucket lists I've been able to do. I've been a head girls basketball varsity coach, 5A, 4A, 5A, and defensive coordinator, and
Okay.
just done a lot of different things that I think that we all want to do, but it's always got to
Yes.
make sense at the end of the day, you know.
It,
And
it add up though. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You got a lot of lessons, you know what I'm saying? You learned along the way to make you, the coach you are now, man. So how did it turn out in nationals when y'all went to Florida?
well, we played in 2 nationals, which was crazy. We played in one called YNC, where it's really the best of the best.
You say that's what
And
Cam Newton had a team in that too, something, right?
well, Cam Newton's was C1N. We played in that one. We were entered 2 of them.
Okay.
Cam Newton is coming. He should be the #1 tournament next year. But YNC still had most of the top rated teams. We lost in the semifinal 8-0. We were down 6-0. We scored. They called it back. And then we stopped them on the goal line stance a little later, and they ended up getting a safety on us. So they beat us 8-0.
What
And
age
then
group was that?
11-year-olds, 6th graders. So I'll share a couple pictures with y'all so y'all can see how big my 11-year-olds and what DeSoto has coming down the pipeline in 7th grade. And we got
So
230.
they all pretty much going to DeSoto.
Yeah, the majority of them are. That's part of the prerequisite.
So, but isn't Havoc? Isn't he like some of his kids go to DeSoto too? Because I know a lot of them.
They do. So some of those kids from Havoc will be playing with us next year on my 12U team. I normally never did the younger levels. I always did the 12-year-olds, the 7th graders. And the goal of that was when I had Booby and all those guys, I'm really big on kids getting offers at an early age. If you meet those measurables and those criteria and stuff like that. And so if you go look at Booby had 30, I think 29, he had the most ever,
At,
29 or
at what
30
age?
offers before he entered high school.
Where is
And
he at
so
now?
he's a sophomore at DeSoto, 6'2", #1. He's the #1 rated player in Texas and the #3 rated player overall in the
What he
country.
play?
Plays
Oh
receiver.
wow.
That's number 7.
#7, yeah.
Okay, I seen him at the clean game, catch that little ball and skirt up
Yeah.
that left sideline.
So if you look at what DT's been able to do and all y'all have been able to do, think about this. He played 16 games as a freshman on varsity at 14 years of age. He scored, I think
That's
he
the
ended up,
cat that's been going viral then.
yeah, he scored, I think 10 or 11 touchdowns as a freshman. And that's with
Wow.
with 3 backs. That one back went for 800, one back went for 1,300, one back went for 1,100, and a quarterback that threw for 4,300.
Where's that quarterback at now?
He's at Sam Houston State.
Okay.
And
Shoot,
so,
they playing tonight then.
yeah, he's redshirt. He's probably gonna be leaving there though. He's probably
Oh,
gonna be leaving
okay.
there
Yeah.
and
Hey,
transferring.
I need to turn that game on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Where's he gonna be headed to?
much better than that.
You know what, man? We're all trying to work on that right now, Rod. It's kind of been this college football stuff is really shady now, man. And so if they can get somebody else in there that they think can help them out right now, it is pretty much telling you, they can tell you, hey, we're gonna let you finish out spring, and then we're gonna bring somebody else in, and you're gonna be needing to look for somewhere else to go.
Basically,
No,
Wow.
preparing you to enter the
it's
transfer
not
portal.
even a basically. That's the truth.
Are they not renewing the scholarship at least?
They don't have
or
to
what?
renew it. It's a year to year, like it
Yep.
really was intended to be. But it used to be if you were in good academic standing, they had to keep on honoring it.
Yeah.
Now it's not that case anymore.
Like
They
when new
can
coaches came in, they didn't have to honor your scholarship. That's basically when you have to find another school. But
Wasn't
NIL,
it's not even that though no more, Zach. They because of the portal, they told him they think that they're going to have they're after another quarterback that they want, and pretty much with that, they already letting them know start looking for somewhere else to go.
So, so is he coming to North Texas or what? Because Chad Morris is in the portal.
Man, you
You
know, he
wanna hear
wants to
that?
go to North. He wants to go, and you know, and this is all fresh, y'all. This is like
Come
you know
on.
the last 96 hours fresh.
Do I need to broker
Yeah.
this?
And so, you know, and he hasn't jumped in the portal. He's still practicing up there and doing all the
You better
things
stop
right.
I mean, like I said, they playing tonight.
Yeah, they're playing tonight, but he's not. You know, he's redshirt,
Yeah.
and so it's just you know, it's not necessarily speaking on him. It's necessarily speaking on how it is now. It's just totally different.
Yeah.
Man,
It,
come on.
it is.
Come on, Eric. You talking about Eric Morris? Come on.
I like Sam Houston too because we used to play against Sam Houston. I got
Hey,
a
we
lot
don't
of
like
respect
Sam
for them.
Houston. We don't like Sam Houston. We go support the
No damn Sam. No damn Sam.
But I mean, but
Hey,
you
for
know,
real,
I respect them because they made the jump. Like Southwest Texas, they made the jump to
Sure.
bigger school. Sam
Mhm.
Houston made the jump. Like I'm like, well, why the hell SFA can't make that jump? Because
It's about I think what Sam Houston said they've had a little bit more success,
yeah. That's why I
sustainable
say I respect
success,
them. They have
and the
basketball wise
money.
too.
And then when you look at it, Conroe and the Woodlands is pretty much jumping into their backyard now.
Yeah.
And
You're
so
right there in Houston.
yeah, the commerce that they're able to generate from now is a little bit better than where you are in the piney woods of SFA.
Yeah, we in the neck, man. We
Yeah,
deep. We in
yeah,
that red mud, damn near.
yeah.
Them,
So you
them,
know,
them
I know
factory
y'all didn't
jobs
have
ain't gonna
cell
do it.
phones in '97, but I know in
Nah, we
2000,
did.
if you were still there, you wasn't getting good
We,
service.
we had we had them prepaids,
that prom
Yeah,
though.
all of
a,
that. So
a
it's
dollar a minute.
But I truly do love that aspect of it, man, of taking these kids and like from Coach Joey McGuire to
Oh, Texas
even
Tech coach.
Red Lachey
What?
to the TCU head coach, all those guys, and even when you know Matt Rule at Baylor, all
Yeah,
those guys have opened up their arms for me and allowed me to be able to host middle school camps.
that's what's up.
And get kids offers. And it's not be, I mean, you got kids. I mean, I've had kids run on the college clock 4.47 in 8th grade. I've had kids.
So
We
you
had
train them? You train them?
no,
Or
no, 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 no.
like
All I do is facilitate. I invite the top kids to come, and then we put together a pretty much a
a
whole
showcase?
extravaganza. No, it's like extravaganza, man. We set it up to where they get to have tours with their families. They were trying on uniforms when it was legal. They were putting their helmets on. They were getting to see the facilities. Then it would be I had 250 kids there at Baylor one year, and they're putting on. I mean, they're running the 40s. They're doing the broad jump. They're going through all. They're doing all the combine drills, and then from there they go into individual with all the college coaches. So you're doing all the receiver drills with all the receivers.
Man, you
Um,
exposing them at the junior high
That's
level, 6th, 7th
amazing. That's
grade.
amazing,
junior high
Coach Jack.
level. And so you got to realize now some of those kids have been drafted. Caden Salters, all those kids that come through that program, all those kids have done that before. And you know, Demetrius Davis, who won back-to-back North Shore state titles,
Okay.
he got offered there. He got his first offer there. Kelvin Banks, a lot of guys have been there to those things who are big time players and being a part of that. Even Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers got an offer at my SMU camp that I had. Threw the ball 70
So
yards in 8th grade, ran 4.77 on their clock,
you
handheld
had these
clock.
camps in the summertime?
Yeah, we have it in summertime. Usually the third week in June, second week in June.
So yeah, that's dope, man. How long you been doing that?
Since 2016, 2017.
That's almost a
We
decade,
started.
dude.
Yeah, we've been doing that since then, and so that's how it started off with then me getting the 12U kids, the top kids in Texas, and then being real dominant because I was getting literally my first year we won that national title. We went 17-0. We had those kids were freshmen last year. 17 of them were freshmen on varsity. So you're talking about
At DeSoto?
275-pound linemen that are freshmen.
So you and Coach Mathis pretty good friends. Know what you're saying?
Yeah, but I'm good friends with a lot of the coaches, you know, like because
If you,
I had kids from Houston. I got
but
kids. I had my
you
quarterback was
are a
from
pipeline
Louisiana.
yourself, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously.
You by
Seriously.
yourself or a pipeline.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
okay, the kids just signed. Just off the bat, what all schools your kids that they play for you, where they signed to?
This year we had well, Dalen Singleton's been with me since he's been 9 years old. He's going to SMU, one of the top receivers.
SMU coming.
Chad Warner out of San Antonio.
I hear
These
you.
are all kids that were in my magazine, CCE magazine. He's the all-time leading passer in San Antonio history. He's headed to UTEP. We have CJ
Long
Ross.
drive.
CJ Ross is the #1 linebacker in Texas, and he's headed to LSU. We have Kevion Riggins out of Forney. He's headed to Texas A&M. It's about 65 kids out of my top 100 that received Division I offers this year based off of their 8th grade ranking. So they were ranked in 8th grade, and then 3 years later, they're signing. 4 years later, they're signing. Tiger Ryden at DeSoto. I've had him since he's been 7 years old. He's now the all-time leading rusher in DeSoto history. He's headed to Texas A&M. Big Byron. I met Big Byron out of Louisiana, Monroe, Louisiana.
That's the big 76.
Yeah, he's headed to Syracuse. He's a kid who's been in the magazine since he's been 10 years old.
Yeah, man, that dude's big. He bigger than he look.
Yeah.
Like what Kanye say, the big girl, he like a minivan coming and hit your ass.
He cast a big old shadow.
He's going to Syracuse.
He's going to Syracuse. And even, like a couple of the kids that's at North Crowley, the running back, Cornelius Osborne, and Chris Jimerson. Those are both. Chris Jimerson was one of my first kids I put on the cover with the Fort Worth Outlaws. And he's headed, I think Chris Jimerson is going to, North Texas, I believe. I can't remember where he's going. He was going to teach. I think he's going to North Texas now, at quarterback, 2024. He's the North Crowley's quarterback. And so it's been a blessing, man, to be around. All of y'all know how we were, man. We all know football. I don't know what kind of job I would have if I just punched a 9 to 5 clock every day and wasn't around kids and doing something with sports.
Yeah.
So I've been blessed to be able to have some kind of way of earning potential and mentorship, dealing with kids and stuff like that. That's been a blessing to me to be able to have that, because I don't know what kind of job I would have.
Man, that's not you reliving your childhood, man. That's all you doing is reliving your childhood and every experience you had. You pouring it out to them so they can, have a better end game than, like you. You know what I'm saying? Put them in a position where they can have a free education, they can live out their dreams, and have the possibility to play in the NFL.
Well, I'm gonna ask y'all this question from Rod to DT to everybody that's here. When we were growing up, what college did you ever visit before you got to be a junior in high school?
No, that wasn't possible.
Didn't.
None.
And Rod, you 2-parent household, or any of y'all 2-parent households?
No, man, you're the only one.
He the only one. And so my dad was around, but they weren't married. But only college game I ever went to was Grambling Prairie View before I started getting recruited. Yeah. So to have some kids who could be on Baylor's campus, TCU's campus, SMU's campus, and they're meeting coaches and stuff like that. And I'm talking about they take it serious.
Oh, yeah.
They're meeting them in 3rd grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. To me, that's nothing to do with me, like making the kid good. It's more to do with me of trying my damnness to try to help them be able to reach their dreams, or at least be able to make it be make it be somewhat of a reality.
That's the word.
Exposure. Yeah, somewhat of a reality. Like, it is possible.
Dude, you just said 3rd grade, they on a college campus. They're talking to college coaches. Like, in 3rd grade, I knew my dad played college ball. I didn't know what college he went to. Man, you putting them right there face to face. It's tangible. They can touch this, live it, breathe it. They see the exposure you done been through. They see it, like, man, 100%, man, you are changing the game, man. And what? So I started off coaching at Nacogdoches. Right, be my first coaching job in that, and that's when before Huddle came out. So I'm driving to Ennis to watch the game, every play, stay out there so they can record the game. We come back, put it up. I started coaching back then, so it was totally different. And to now know that I did high school. That was horrible. I did college, and I'm like, where do I want to go where I could be the most beneficial? And I was like, junior high, I want to give them that platform at that age to where all they can do is get better. That's basically what you're doing. You're starting at that ground level, getting them all that exposure, and it's nowhere to go but up. They're ahead of the curve.
Yeah. It's been, like I said before, I've had an opportunity to touch all the different levels somewhat. And it is, begrudgingly to a certain degree. I'm scared of the little babies. But then again, like I say, at the same time, when I was doing the magazine, and just to kind of give you an example of DeAndre Ryan and Tiger Ryan, I met him and DJ Bailey at the same time. They were playing for the PG Lions, and they were playing at Forrester. And I was down there just watching kids. And I was, like you say, I'm probably more sensitive because I was putting in work and I wasn't getting paid for it. It was an entrepreneurship thing, but I had a passion for it. And I was going to these different places and I was trying to get kids to do 7-on-7. I was trying to get kids in the combines at an early age. And my thought process, Rod and DT and everybody else, is the 40 never will change. If you can get used to running the 40 right now and you get taught how to run the 40 at 9 and you get over that psychological hurdle of that 40 by the time you're 13 and you work on your technique on the broad jump and all that stuff, when you get out there and you go in front of those scouts when it really matters, man, you finna lick your chops at it and you're gonna laugh at it and you're gonna be ready for it. And so I wanted to bring that, and I had a way for me to be compensated by it, but I was putting in crazy hours. And my wife was just awesome about it. But I was going to go catch all these games all day watching these little jamborees. And I saw this kid tackling it, and I saw the quarterback running first, and I was like, dang, man, this little kid is nice. He like a little Michael Vick or something. DJ had speed thing, like I teased him about. And it was a kid who was tackling. I'm talking about like hitting, turning people around. And I said, man, I like the quarterback, but who is that little kid right there, number 11? And they say, man, that's Tiger. I'm gonna bring his daddy around here to you. And you just never know that when he was 7 years old to now, he's been my student. He's probably been on more flyers than anybody else, and my relationships with a lot of these kids, they go different. Like I wasn't able to be there for their signing day. And so my thing was, let me get your signing suit. That's how much he meant to me and how much he's helped me out with my career. I knew I couldn't be there, but I wanted to at least be able to buy his suit that he could be able to wear on signing day.
Where did he sign?
To Texas A&M.
Okay.
But I've been in this kid's life from a standpoint of an admirer and somebody writing about him and been ranked number one in my magazine.
7 years old?
Since he's been 7 years old, and now he's 18.
Man. Yeah, man. That's a decade worth of work right there.
Yeah, and so, man, whenever it can match like that, that's what makes it, to me, what makes it special, because a lot of these kids, I know their moms. So when I talk to college coaches, if I ever get a chance to talk to college coaches, I'm not giving them something about just what they are on the field. I'm giving them what they are as a human being and as a kid and what they're getting. And I truly know the fabric of 99% of these kids that have come through my magazine and stuff like that, because it wasn't just off of, oh, I see you from afar away. It was relationships that were built. It was numerous games spent going to go watch him play and writing about him and stuff like that. So, it's none of them are your son, but it feels like it to a certain degree when you get to see kids go that long. That's what
coaching is, man. You take all them kids.
I am so proud of you. And I was actually sharing with the fellas before you came on. I said, you are literally the epitome of hard work. You may not remember, but I still have communications. I still have receipts of communications from you and I in 2014, 13, 16, where you're talking about your vision. You was talking about how you
Mhm.
want to put in kids in a light and get signed. You was talking about those things. I
Yeah.
said I was probably one of the few people that heard you talking about it. So I'm so happy to see where you are now and the awesome things that you continue to do, man. So keep up
Yeah.
the great work.
I
DT, you
appreciate
got
that.
something? Because to me, what you're doing is what Bill Belichick is trying to do at North Carolina, where he's trying to make that be that pipeline
What
for
she
those
is it?
college kids to the NFL. You trying to get these kids, you're a pipeline for these kids from basically ground root to help them get to college. Like everything you're
Yeah.
doing is trying to position them to get to that next level to be signed. And so
Wait,
you know.
where do y'all think y'all would be, man, if y'all didn't have college?
I can't answer that. I would have probably went to the Army. Hell, that's what I probably would have been an Army
But
vet.
you understand what I'm saying by that
Yeah,
though? And like we grew up in a suburb when it was a suburb for the most part. You know, like I can speak on y'all three. I know that for a fact. Y'all were DT. I want to say you were there all the way through ninth grade, all the way through. I know that for a fact. I can't remember if you were there in middle school or not.
I started East.
Were you a
I
Kennedy
don't know.
Carey kid at first with Tamisha or something?
Yeah, I was
but
your sister.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
My
And so,
girl
and
Tam.
then Zach, when did you get there?
I didn't get to DeSoto to my freshman year,
Yeah.
92.
And then Rod came his junior year or sophomore
Yep.
year.
Junior year, middle of at the end of the junior year.
And see, I'm a fifth grader in DeSoto. I remember when at Amber Terrace was only 15. The girl told me, "You make 15." I was the
15 black.
15th. I was the 15th black in all of fifth grade. And
And
that's exactly how Kaniqua Coney came and told me that. Said, "You make 15." Like
Yeah.
so like to see DeSoto, and then you think about it and say, man, that was a good situation for us. It gave us a lot of diversity, right? Which prepared you for what Division I football was gonna be like.
Yeah.
But I just can't think about how life would be had we and it. I know y'all had fun. Like so, when I try to tell kids, like, man, that's the dream is to go to college. And if
Well,
you could go to college for free, that's really the dream. Like you really balling. That's the ultimate dream.
yeah, that's what you want because everybody think about the NFL, but you can't go to the NFL without going to college. And
Yeah.
so once
And
you
the
position them,
NFL, yeah,
but
in the NFL, I don't care what you think you did, they got their own mindset for you. So either they want you
yeah,
or they don't.
yeah, yeah.
You know.
And man, like okay, we done with your little league, man, because
Yeah.
you that's on lot. But you got a lot more to tell because you played at Arizona State. What made you go to Arizona State? You played in the Rose Bowl against David Boston. You played with Jake the Snake. You played with Pat Tillman. You went to
Yeah.
Buffalo. Look, you need like it's so much more to your story though, man.
Yeah. What a story mean, going to Arizona State was that 93 season was an awesome season. And Rod will tell you that. I know y'all were kind of living it up, playing a little bit of varsity and having that. Y'all had a nice ass JV that year. I remember that, and playing up. And back then, it wasn't nothing if you weren't if you weren't a junior, if you weren't a sophomore on varsity. It was like it's okay, right? But having that high school career, that junior year, all the work that Rod and Byron and Larry and Stacy and CT, that groundwork they put in, to me, allowed all the classes after that to get recruited by bigger schools.
Yeah, yeah.
And
We
so,
said that before you came on too.
yeah. So I'm always gonna tip my hat, man, and say that I was out there grinding with them, but that was an awesome group of seniors that year, and so it opened doors up for me to have a lot of offers by a lot of different schools, and I thought I was going to Miami. I was Willie Robinson was recruiting me, and early on, I think the first day they could call, he called, and I was like, man, I'm with it. That's
Yep.
where I want to
That
go.
do say when they call you the summertime first day, you
Yeah,
call
yeah. And Dallas, and then I just saw so many Dallas Cowboys that were playing with Miami. It was like you go there and you come on back to the crib, and you're
Yeah.
playing for your team that you love. And I was all in on that, man. But it was a guy named Phil Snow that was the defensive coordinator, and Hugh Jackson that's been, a head coach
Okay.
in the
Yeah, we know Hugh
NFL.
Jackson.
Hugh Jackson was my recruiter. and I thought he was white the whole way through. 'Cause he talked from California, and he played dominoes and all this stuff. But it was something to be said when your defensive coordinator, who's also the secondary coach, jumps on, and they're both recruiting you. And I said, man, I got a little sister, man, that hoops. You got to come to a game. And I don't know if it was legal or not, but he said, man, I'm flying into Dallas. Where's she gonna play at? And he went out there and he watched Tamisha play, and they killed somebody. He was saying, man, look at her feet, her footwork. She's so quick, and her hands, and she gets off her shot so quick, and look how she responds, and she gets down the court, and this, and this. And hell, by the end of it, I said, I think he want to recruit my sister more than he want to recruit me. But he was so impressed. And then later on, he told me, he said, man, I was only doing it because you asked me to do it, but I really didn't want to go to no girls' basketball game. But it meant so much to me for a guy to come out there and understand what it meant for me with family and stuff like that. So they grew on me. And
They
then
had to.
they grew on me, man. And then Dennis Erickson left to go to be the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks.
Damn, he was the
And so,
coach.
yeah, when he left, it was like I had already gone on an Arizona State visit, and it just made sense, man. I really liked it there, and they were everybody else that recruited me had beat Arizona State and blew them out. Miami had blew them out by 40. Nebraska had beat them. It was all kind of stuff. And all those schools that offered me and wanted me to come on visits, and it was just crazy because Arizona State had only won 3 games. But I think like all y'all think the same way. I was
You gonna
tired
be the
of
difference
everybody.
maker.
I wanted to hear the school that said, man, I was tired of everybody saying they wouldn't say nothing about Miami because Miami had played in the national championship that year against Nebraska. But they would talk about all my other schools that I had visits on, Maryland, Arkansas, Cal, Berkeley, and they would always talk about how they weren't any good. And all I cared about was what the plan was on how you're gonna be good with me. I
Yeah,
didn't care about what you had done in the past because I wasn't there.
that don't matter.
Typical DeSoto thinking, and it was the best decision I made going to Arizona State. It was a bunch of guys that had never had one, who had chips on their shoulders. They all like, man, we were so many California guys that didn't get recruited by USC and UCLA. They all had little man syndrome. Pat Tillman,
Had something to
everybody.
prove.
They all had a chip on their shoulder. Jake had a chip on his shoulder. He had been a quarterback who had played since a freshman. And, it's just so many stories of like how they galvanized and made me. I was red shirt. And I was like, man, like this is foreign territory. But they saw something in me. And that spring, they told me they're gonna move me to corner.
Oh,
And
you was a safety at first?
I was a safety. I was a safety in high school, bro.
Yep.
Safety. And
Me and
Oh,
Kojak,
I remember
baby.
cornerback. I guess
yeah.
I just remember my last vision of you is covering David Boston. That's my
Yeah, that's
last.
corner though. That's
I,
corner.
I know. So that's why I was just
Mhm.
thinking that's what you played in high school. But
I played
before you,
now CT and Rod were corners, and DT was the corner. Carlin was the corner. Carlin played
yeah,
a little bit
I
of
remember.
both. But me
So
and KT were the safeties. And
that's okay. Okay, so your senior year, you and KT safeties, Carlin's corner. Who was the other corner?
DT.
DT? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. That's okay. I get it now. All right. But
Mhm.
before you get back on your story, you made me want to take a recruiting trip so bad. Who went on the recruiting trip with you to Maryland? I think it was you, Carlton, and Zuri. Y'all went?
Nah, me, Kerry Lanier and Zuri to the University of Maryland. Yeah.
Hey,
And we had that was a hell of a trip.
yeah, because when y'all got back, we want to, y'all did this, y'all did that. And I'm not gonna say who said it, but it was like, man, them girls look so good up there. I want to buy one.
Yeah, they shot us down left and right, man. They shot us down. We got shot down more that day than we ever did before in our life. But they had a mall that stayed open to like 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Damn.
And it's like like the movie theater and the club. It's like basically like a club inside there. So we went there for one night, and it's just great experiences, man. You don't never
Yeah,
know if
it
you ever
is, man.
gonna come back again. That was my first time ever getting to see real good sized rats.
In DC, the rats in DC.
Man, like they talked about how world renowned this place was in Zach. So the training table. So we eating Rod like everything we could touch. Cheesecake, eating everything. Like just gorging
Yeah.
ourselves. Gal, and we leave out of there and we gonna walk to this guy named Ratcliffe's his dorm. And we're gonna go out. He's gonna take us to the club. So we going down these steps like they have in Philadelphia, all them steps, like in Rocky Four and stuff. We
Yeah.
going down the steps, and we were like the last ones out of there. And I remember saying, man, as we were walking away from the steps, I said, man, y'all cats don't take no time. They must be leaving our food for the cats. And he looked back, and it may have been about 60 yards away. He say, man, them ain't cats, them rats.
Man, you
I
kidding me.
promise you, them things were running up them stairs, man, like looking like cats, man.
Oh man.
And he just thought it was the funniest. I say, man, it's no way them things is
Wow.
rats. And we had just walked away from it. It was just, but that experience would never ever leave me on seeing that and being around that, and then we three Texas boys, and we thinking we swagged up, and we got on our nice outfits, and the line is so long to get in the club, and Zuri get in.
So Zuri was with y'all. So was you,
Yeah.
Carlton, Lanier, and
No, it wasn't. Carlin didn't go. It was just Kaylin, Zuri, and me.
Okay.
And Zuri gets in, then I get in. Before we get in, the line had been long. We've been in line for an hour, right? And Kaylin starts to say, man, what are they gonna be asking for? And he's 6'4", 270. What they gonna be asking for? We get all the way. I give my ID. They say, man, you can go on and go in. So we kind of take about 6 steps, and we waiting on Kaylin. And all of a sudden, they send his big old ass. They send him back on out. He too young to get into the club. So all of us got to leave the club. We had no pull to get in. And
they
so
go with his ID.
Not no recruiting name.
He was 17. You had to be 18 to get in there. And you talking about we were in some spot like, and so, but we talked about Kaylin so bad because there were so many of them in that line that were in there. We were just waiting we had licking our chops to get inside there. And we all had to leave. All the hosts and everybody had to leave because Kaylin couldn't get in.
Hey,
and we ended up riding around
that long.
And we ended up riding around DC the whole night, just riding around looking for something instead of being in that club that night. And we talked about him I'm talking about like, you big old 6'5", 17-year-old. We just mad at him, man. And
where did Kerry end up going?
He signed to Ole Miss.
Ole Miss and then Oklahoma State, I think, right?
Ole Miss, and then he transferred to Oklahoma State in mid-year.
Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So, and see, that's why I was saying, like, 9-4, it was more Texas. But 9-5,
how many scholarships y'all have? Hey, Courtney,
nationwide.
KT and Chris Wheeler, those two couldn't qualify. So those two guys lost theirs. So it ended up being 6 without those two. We had Rice, and Carlin had Michigan, Florida State, and Rice, and he chose Rice.
Yeah, he had
Michigan and Florida State.
Michigan, Florida State. That's where his final 3.
I did not know that.
Tamika Black.
His girlfriend.
She went to University of Houston. And so that's why he chose Rice.
Hey, but you know what? It's the Ivy League of the South. So what do you say?
You feel me on that? So, but
whatever. Did they get married? Did they get married?
No.
All right. No. So
Florida.
What are we doing now, man?
We had Big Ten. Carl is a police officer in Dallas.
What?
Yeah, big time police officer, bro.
Man, I'm gonna have to try and find Carl.
Yeah, man. So, but we had Rice. We had Ole Miss, Florida, Iowa, and
Paul Mason.
Who with Iowa?
Paul Mason. Yeah, Paul Moden.
Paul Moden.
And
Okay, Paul Mason was my year then.
I did not
yeah.
know that.
And then Jimmy went to Minnesota.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Y'all nationwide that 9-5
Yeah.
year, and then we went back local 9.
Yeah, y'all had, I guess it was bigger names. We had 13. I don't know why I thought it was more scholarships in y'all class.
Those were the ones, but like I said before, 8 was a good. You got to realize because y'all had so many kids playing that year who were seniors, it wasn't a lot of sophomores that were starting. I don't think it was one sophomore starting on that team.
I mean,
No, it wasn't.
that 9-4 was so loaded though, man.
No, that's what I'm saying. Think about it, like in y'all
You had
class,
rotate. I mean, you could get it.
what sophomore was on varsity getting playing time?
Did we even have a sophomore on varsity?
I want to say Steve McClellan was one of the few consistent ones that were up there, but none of the sophomore. I know I damn sure didn't play. I told him put me back on JV. This
Yeah,
is
but I don't think it wasn't no sophomore playing who started.
But y'all senior year though, the quarterback was really the issue. You know, that's where we fell off. With Coach Spears, the old line coach left, and we just didn't have the same quarterback. We didn't have the same quarterback play.
Well, I mean, I definitely that. But I think that, but that's the part of the problem though. When a group is so good, like the 94 group was so good, they really should have been playing as sophomores, all of them. You know, but it was a tradition of let the seniors play, you know, and that kind of backfired on us in a lot of ways. I remember my sophomore year, during the spring, I had a really great spring coming out of freshman year, and I wanted to stay at running back. And Zuri was a running back. Zuri had just transferred in. I don't even know if Rod, you were even there yet, were you?
Nope.
And this is what they tried to do to me, Rod. So, you know, I scored 3 times in the JV game. And then they moved me up and I played the varsity spring game after that. I scored on defense and I scored with the second team running back unit, right? I had a real good game. Byron killed, but I had a real good game on the opposite side. And they said, well, you know, you're not going to be on varsity if you don't play DB. And I said, okay, that's cool. Like, I was cool with it. KT and Carlin, I called them sellouts because both of them said, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. And they went straight to defense. And I just thought that was the wrong thing to do. I thought it was weak from a standpoint that we couldn't be able to still be able to play offense and it wasn't no more freedom. It was like we were going to just be, and Carlin didn't play at all. Carlin had like 7 games where he rode the bench as a sophomore. KT started as sophomores.
And so y'all
then he had to
y'all
when
just
I
rode
came
the
in,
bench
he had to
on
get in rotation.
varsity?
So Carlin
They wouldn't. It wasn't because you got to realize, like Rob was saying, you had CT on one side, and then they had Shaky on the other side.
It's wrong. RRP.
Yeah, and so they were playing Shaky. They were playing Shaky, who was a senior over there on the other side.
Yeah, that was in '93.
That was in 92.
92.
Yeah, 92. Yeah.
And so, the one safety was KT. The other safety spot was people who were good guys now in life, but I felt like potential-wise, I should have been right there with KT as a safety, but I wasn't doing what they told me to do. I wouldn't play basketball. I wasn't big in the weight room. And so I had a great fun. Zuri too. Zuri and I both played JV.
Wait a minute. They let you play basketball when?
My freshman year and my sophomore year.
They didn't they didn't let me play my junior. They didn't let me play no basketball.
But think about how Zuri looked. Zuri was 220 as a freshman.
I mean, Zuri, look here, man. Courtney, if Byron don't hurt his knee, if you don't hurt your knee, and if Zuri don't have his issue, DeSoto would have been on the map.
Yeah, but that's
people
what I'm trying to
understand.
People don't realize what kind of freak athlete Zuri was. Zuri was playing running back on JV as a sophomore. I was playing safety, and I would go get some running back carries, get the run back punts and stuff like that. We lose some games here and there, but we were killing. We had so much fun that Jim Brown pulled me in week 7, and I had like 17 tackles, right?
He wants you at safety.
He said, you're getting worse. Now, what you mean? I'm getting worse. I just had a great game. I made like 17 tackles. He said, yeah, but you're freelance. You're not doing this. Remember I used to have to cut the buck sweep. You had to cut it out and do all that kind of stuff. I could be able to maneuver and still get out, not cut it. And he was trying to explain to me I was getting less fundamental and getting more like doing just JV type stuff, right? And he said, I'm moving you up. And I remember telling him why. Like, you ain't gonna move me up. I used to tease Carlin about being up there on varsity and saying how cold he was on the sideline because they wouldn't play him. And DT said the same thing. Like, you a sophomore, all those guys, they did not play you. You rolled that pine if you weren't starting. And this is the funniest story. So I think Shaky had failed, right? And I want to say Carlin, it's our first playoff game against Richardson. And one of the other seniors, who's a good guy, but he wasn't better than me. He was a senior and failed. And so it's out of me and I think Gerald Henderson or what? No, take that back. CT's cousin, Gerald Henderson may have failed. What's CT's Sheldon?
Oh, I don't remember that.
I don't remember Sheldon. Dark skin. Anyway, but Sheldon was the other safety. So all week in practice, Jim Brown is saying we're going with the 95 kids. We're going with the young bucks in the secondary. It was me, Carlin, and Kevin, and CT. Everybody young, right? The whole week in practice. And then before the game time, we go out there and we do pregame, Rob. We come back in, and they got this is a playoff game out there in Richardson, Plano. They had the starting lineups on the Jumbotron. And I saw my name. I was wearing number 30. And I was like, ooh, my parents here. I'm really on varsity. You know what I'm saying? And Jim Brown went back inside.
Boy, cut off. You know how the TV show it go to commercial right at the cliffhanger?
Man, that was
that's
right
a good
there.
show. Good show, man. I'm about to get off of here, man. But he definitely need a Netflix.
My bad, y'all.
Netflix special.
Jim Brown said, man,
all right, good
go
luck,
ahead and
Mo.
start the senior.
I appreciate
you just be ready to go. And I'm gonna bring. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's
Yeah, Mo going to. He got a little pool tournament, man. He shoot pool on Wednesday, so he just turned out early.
Yeah. Hopefully y'all can hear me.
Yeah.
But you can hear me now, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did that, man. Broke my heart, dog. We lost the game. I got in the last quarter and forced the fumble. But that broke my heart with Jim Brown. And he used to tell me for the next 2 years that was one of his biggest mistakes of not going with his hunch and playing all of us young boys. But he went with the senior, and he got a reverse. A reverse happened. I had went through all those plays and knew what they were going to do and stuff like that. And he played him over me, man. And that just really just crushed me from a standpoint
He was a sophomore?
Having to wait that turn. But it was the best thing for me as far as going to college. Because when you go to college, you don't go just straight in and go start. You go in, you got a red shirt, you got to do all that stuff. So I think it prepared me to be able to compete on that high level till I'm doing the interview now. So yeah, man, that's DeSoto High School in Arizona State. And then,
tell us about your Buffalo days.
And then I turned my knee up there in training camp and come back and, just a messed up story to the other side of business when you get a new general manager, new head coach and everything in there. And they cut me on draft day of the next year.
How long were you in Buffalo?
So that's pretty much the story on all that.
Can you hear us, Coach Jack?
I skipped out the
he can't hear
game.
I don't think he can hear us, dog. He got us on mute. Hey,
I can't hear y'all for some reason, man.
We kind of figured that.
What's going on? I can't hear y'all.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's hilarious. But
this is great, man. I
can't remember what year he was in Buffalo. Because I want to know who he
was not allowed. I can't hear y'all.
Like 01, 02,
I know.
2000.
I want to tell him to go back out and come. Oh, that's what he's doing.
Because I think it was 01.
You remember what's the Eric Mose? I'm trying to think. Peerless Price, like was he like that was around the time? Let's see.
My
Can
bad
you
on
hear?
that, y'all. I can
Can
hear
you
you
hear
now,
us?
man. My wife had called and I hung her up and that's what it started all that stuff. But I
Oh,
couldn't hear
okay,
y'all
okay.
for nothing.
Yes. So when you made to Buffalo, man, who was on the team? Like was it Peerless Price, Eric
Peerless
Mose,
Price, Peerless Price, Doug Flutie, Antoine,
Doug Flutie, Antoine
Doug Flutie,
Winfield?
Antoine Winfield. Antoine was
OSU.
there. Um,
Man, that's a nice ass squad. Buffalo. Wait a minute.
they had just come off the Music City Miracle.
I'm just gonna say that.
Oh
That
They
okay.
wow,
just come off the
okay.
Music City Miracle. So I literally came there that same. They had the Music City Miracle, and then I went into that fold in there, and it was a good fit because they had told me before the draft that they weren't going to draft a corner, and that if I wasn't there, and I knew my stock was dropping. I thought I was going to be able to go to Detroit the 5th round. I thought I had done enough for them to be able to draft me in the 5th round, but it didn't happen. And so, when that 6th and 7th round started coming, you start saying the cliche of, man, don't pick me, let me pick where I want to go. Man,
Yeah.
don't pick me where I want to go and stuff like that. And I had New Orleans, St. Louis, and New Orleans and St. Louis offered me more money. But not Green Bay, but Buffalo did not draft the corner. And they were really, really telling me, like, telling my agent, this is who else I'm bringing in. We're going to
How
probably
y'all
two or
compete?
three of them. Yeah, like 2 or 3 more guys. Two or three guys are going to make this roster because we didn't draft any. 2 or 3 gonna make the roster, and so you start looking at your odds. And they gave me the least amount of money. They gave me $1,000, and the signing bonus really didn't matter. Like I said before, it was more of what to prove. I was really, really pissed from a standpoint of um, how I went from being the second rated corner on the West Coast behind Delta O'Neal, who was the Jim Thorpe winner, to having more starts than anybody out there who was in that 30 corners. I had, I think, 37 consecutive starts at corner. I was a semifinalist for the Thorpe my senior year, and I just felt like that for different reasons and different things with the head coach, I was in a situation of really having bad stock. Uh, Going into the draft, and then I didn't run. I didn't run like I was supposed to run at the combine. I got it. I kind of
Oh, so
got
you
one
got
of the
invited to
most.
the combine?
No, I didn't go to the combine.
Oh,
I didn't go to the combine. I had messed my knee up a little bit against Oregon, and so um, I knew that I wasn't going to pass a lot of the
agility.
physicals.
Yeah.
Now the physicals, like I had been taping it up and playing, getting this, but this
So you
before
wasn't
they had
healthy.
that tape
You wasn't
stuff.
healthy, basically.
No, I wasn't clean. See, my
Mm.
junior year, I had a Lloyd to London as the second highest rated DB underclassman behind Champ Bailey. Had a 2.5 insurance, $2.5 million insurance policy. So I thought I was gone. And my last game in my junior year, even though I had got beat more that year gambling, we didn't win. Um, I get I got cheap shot at the eighth play of the game, and I messed my Achilles up. And so when I messed it up, it didn't rupture, but they put me in a boot for 4 months. And I was in that boot for 4 months. And so everything in my ligaments, it was like I had no dexterity. I had an opportunity to cash in on my insurance policy. They had to come out there and evaluate that. Do I want to? That's how bad the injury was. And what it ended up being was 2 bone bruises on the two things down there. I guess this part going into your foot and your foot, it was bruised up real bad. And then all the ligament stuff. So when I came back, I wasn't nearly as explosive, but I was super smart. And I only had 2 classes my senior year. So I was in there with the coaches all throughout the day. And I had a good season, but I wasn't as explosive as I had been before.
Yeah.
And so when I in Oregon with like week 8 or whatever it was, I messed my knee up, man. Blitzing off the edge, messed my knee up, and I was wrapped up the rest of the year. So I needed that extra 6 or 7 weeks to get ready for the combine. When the combine came, This is the craziest story ever, right? It's a dude named Eric Fields who's the he stayed with me. I hosted him on his recruiting trip. He JC transfer from Trinity Valley. We call him Big Slave. Out of nowhere, Eric Fields, we got the same agent. Now he about to be a first round pick.
Was he the
When I
DN?
DN. When I hosted him, I was the dude who was the guy,
Well,
right?
he actually committed to North Texas, and then he ended up visiting with y'all late when he came out of
And I hosted him.
Trinity Valley.
And so he stayed with me, man. We ended up having the same age and everything. So his name is Eric Flowers.
Eric Flowers, yep.
Eric Flowers. So think about this. He runs the 40. We ordered the same shoes, Zach. Same waffle shoes, right? Like the little the rubber spikes or whatever it is.
I got you, Robbie.
So he run the 40. And you know how you get back in your stands, right? And all y'all, when you walk back like you in track and all that stuff, and you show you stretching your calves and all that stuff. Eric does all that. He runs his 40. He weigh in at 272 and he run a 4.6.
Damn.
He ended up going first round.
No, that boy was stupid.
My last name Jackson. I'm after him. I got the same shoe he got. I do the same ritual. We train at the same place, everything. And they stop me and they say, Jackson, can we see the bottom of your shoes? Swear to God. Now, I told y'all my head coach it gave me the worst thing of ever. I don't do no drug. I'm clean, but I'm not clean as far as my,
Perception.
Well, I like girls. But I'm clean as far as everything else.
So your head coach was giving you the business on that to the recruit to the
Yeah,
scouts?
he killed me, man. Rest in peace to him. He killed me though. He killed me, you know what I'm saying? And it was hard for my coordinator not to tell me, but he pretty much told me, you better run real fast. You better be the height you want to be, and you better run real fast.
Because them coaches think they know so much, though.
Man, so I'm getting in the blocks, and they say, let me see the bottom of your shoe. He said, you're not supposed to wear spikes. I said, these are not spikes. I said, they're waffles. And I'd actually shaved mine down a little bit. They said, those are illegal to run. He said, who's next? Jackson's out.
They
So
let you
now,
run?
wouldn't let me run. I got to change shoes. This is at our pro timing day. Now, he Flowers, I'm Jackson. I think it was two people in between us. So now I'm scrambling. I asked J.R. Redmond, J.R., you got a pair of cleats? Since we had just got our turf put in. I said, man, shoot, I'm barefooted. I don't want to run barefooted in his cleats. So now I got to go to a bag and get a pair of socks from somebody. I get a pair of socks. And they're saying, Jackson, and so two people in the run. Jackson, are you going to run? What's going on?
Like they don't see what's going on.
They just rushing me. They treat me like a flunky, bro. And I was so mad. I ran so tense. I ran 4.62 on turf.
Did you run track, Courtney?
I did, but I didn't. I was a ne'er-do-weller, man. DT will tell you. I remember when DT got fast.
I knew when he got fast.
I'm dead serious. I remember when DT got fast. I remember when DT beat me. We were running in the JV meet. I don't know if DT remember this. You were a sophomore. And we ran the Carter shootout in the JV thing. And I had the fast. I never forget the man say, because I ran my hardest. Everybody else who was fast, it was a kid from Roosevelt who was really fast.
Lewis?
No, this is JV now. It was smoke though. And I had the fastest time. And I think DT was like 2 lanes over from me. We were all running. I don't know if you remember this, DT, but we ran that finals. And when I came out, I thought I was in first. And then they started coming on both sides of me. And I put my head down and tried to get a gear. And then I tried to hit another gear. And then I said, shit, that's DT ahead of me now. Like, DT wasn't faster than me up to that point. And I remember coming up in the stands and they were like, dang, Coach Jack, like you let DT beat you. DT didn't run a faster time than you. And then We come back a year or so
This
later when
dude
I'm
wasn't
going off to
slow. I
school.
don't ever
No,
remember
because we come
DT
back.
being
DT
slow.
was fast,
No, because you
man.
got to realize when DT ran like 10-3 when I was in college. Your senior
Yeah.
year, right?
Yeah, I
Mhm.
remember. I remember hearing about DT at SFA. I think I heard 10-4, what was
But
your
no, I think
fast?
he ran 10-3 in high school. I
Yeah,
want
no,
to
that's
say
what I'm
that.
saying. In high
Yeah.
school. Yeah.
And they were telling me that, and I felt so validated for my boy because now it wasn't so bad me losing to DT in that JV meet as it was
Man,
then.
DT was putting
No, I'm
him
dead serious,
down.
because it wasn't when B Hand and them were there, it wasn't no point. Jimmy was the only one who was up.
Man, and that's the thing about
I didn't
9-4,
even
man.
know
They
what
can
happened to
they can do
Jimmy.
it
Like
all.
Jimmy happened overnight because Jimmy had just transferred in. I didn't even know Jimmy was big until
Coach,
after the fact.
They
but
moved that boy up on the
that's
playoffs.
how
Jimmy, hey,
politics work too, though.
Yeah.
I think
they
if
never
they
They
let
like
weren't
that.
trying to give
somebody,
Jimmy no
because I
reps.
thought Chris was the man.
They weren't trying to give Jimmy no reps, though.
EJ.
Think
What
about
up,
it.
Priest?
At DeSoto,
If you give Jimmy reps, you got to take out JB. If you take
I
out
don't
JB,
who.
you got to take out Chris Wheeler.
Yep.
well, no, JB
No,
was with
but
us though.
Jimmy was
But
making
Jimmy
plays.
started balling at the
Yes.
When
end
we
of his
left,
junior
JV.
year.
when we
Jimmy
left,
started out on
right?
JV and
Yeah,
was
yeah. Jimmy was on JV
Exactly.
with us.
and
But
he
And you know
Exactly.
what?
breezed his
Because you
way
know
up.
what? They didn't have no respect for Jimmy at that particular time. I think
They
By the
didn't.
because
playoffs,
of
No.
what you
he
said.
was
I
making
think you're right.
touchdowns in the playoffs his
Thinking
first
back
year.
on it. Thinking
hmm
back on it.
But
But
after
Jimmy
that
also
Carter,
at that
But
time,
he
his
started on JV.
personality.
he
Yeah, he
started on
So
started on
JV.
JV.
Yeah, he was on JV with us.
They
And
never
he
gave
was
him a
just
chance on
slow.
varsity,
as a
though.
junior,
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
And because
because
Yes.
they didn't
Jimmy
know him.
came from Arkansas.
crazy.
Yeah,
Jimmy
That's
came from Arkansas.
crazy.
Yeah.
And
They didn't know him. And hell,
we knew,
nobody knew him.
I
no,
remember
we
they gave
knew,
him a. I
we
remember when
knew
he.
he was kind of nice
wait, hold
because
on,
when he
hold
would do
on. What was the
one-on-one,
name?
I'm
Yeah,
not
we
saying
knew him
it.
nice and we
I'm
see
not
him
doing
every
it.
day.
I'm not doing that name. I'm not
China
saying
man.
it.
Say
No,
the
they had a
name,
name.
Rob B.
I'm not doing that. They had a name for Jimmy when he first came in to SF. I mean, not SF. When he came to DeSoto on the
Jimmy
sideline,
Chain. They what they call him.
Mm-hmm.
they
Yeah.
called him a
China man.
name because whatever.
hold on,
No.
hold on. I only
Hey,
say that
the boy
because
had that wet
DT
look.
used to call him that. They almost got into a fight over
Oh,
DT.
Jimmy, he didn't. He let it go within. That's what I'm
Uh,
saying. Another thing about Jimmy, see, like I feel like you had people like Jimmy, Kojak. You had people like Jeremy Winbush
yeah,
that
Mhm.
came
Winbush.
in. We had a few other people that transferred in when I came in. It was like ballers, but you
Mm-hmm.
already had those dominant people like Kojak had talked about. I think some of
Mm-hmm.
the difference is the personality. Like I didn't care, Jimmy was a kind of a nice guy. I think that early part of the season type of thing. I think
But
that
he
had
didn't. But
something to
he
do with
didn't.
you.
Jimmy didn't get there in the spring though.
Yeah,
Jimmy
he got
got
Oh, okay,
there.
was he not there then?
the
Okay, he
beginning
came
of the
out.
No,
school year.
He came in the
Jimmy got
fall.
there. Jimmy got there like right before the school year started.
Like
Yeah,
right when okay.
Cause see, like we used to go against Jimmy in like practice.
one on one.
Well, yeah, cause like remember CT
Jimmy
would
was
always
Jimmy
go
was
against
balling.
Buck
Mm-hmm.
one-on-ones every time. Like that's every time. So then you got JB going up against you or whatever the case. It was always seniors go first and then it work its way on down. And so then, we would either get the Daryl or then it would start being the Chris Wheeler and
Mm-hmm.
this and that. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah,
getting them.
yeah.
And so I would go against Jimmy a lot. And I would sit there and say, like, the dude ain't bad, man. Like, but
Now
he but they
Jimmy
love
could catch.
JB. They
Jimmy could
love JB. He had paid
And
his
we had
dues.
yeah.
yeah.
But Jimmy had I use that Jimmy Wyrick story all the time in recruitment because I tell everybody how many plays you need. People say, I need more
One.
plays, I need more reps. I said, man, all you need is one.
You just need to
What was
make the
Jimmy's
plays
play?
you
What
count.
was Jimmy's one play?
Man, to me, his one play was the Carter game in
Yeah,
that
that
last
Carter
2
game.
minutes of that Carter in the first half when he catches a crossing route,
And
makes two or
take it
three
down the
guys miss,
sideline.
and then
Take
bangs his head
me
on the
through it, man.
goalpost.
Take me through it. Take me through it.
Dude,
Oh man, that's in the 2 minute. We're in the 2 minute drill, dog, against Carter. It's 45,000 in the stands. Real talk on a second round game.
Well, then
Way back
doubled up
then.
us because we had 35. We had 30, at least 35.
That's the same game.
No,
Same
Jimmy
game.
wasn't in that game.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
it
was.
was.
It was.
Yes, it was.
Oh, on,
That's when
man.
he. That's when he really
that was his junior year. That's how far he came in that short amount of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
He
Hold
got
on,
moved
Ted.
up to
Which
JV.
player?
And he got moved up. He got bumped up from JV.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he was a junior.
In
so
our Carter game. You
kinda
talking about our
noise.
Carter
Yes.
game?
Yes.
Yes.
Y'all caught the game.
Yeah.
When I played, I mean,
Yeah.
Man,
No, that's
man, I'm trying to remember that. I guess we had so many highlights.
We had a lot of highlights.
The game, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jimmy had officially made it. That's like you saw what he was doing on JV because you know I was starting running back on JV and Jimmy was the star receiver. And then
Y'all had Will
before
Haley
the
at
end of the
fullback.
season, because I hurt my knee, I think Jimmy had got bumped up before the season was over with the varsity though.
He did, but remember what I told you though.
3-4 games, man.
Yeah, it
We
wasn't
probably
a lot of playing
we
time.
should have had him playing the whole time, man. I just remember him being so like nice and studious and like a student of the game. I just remember
his
that
run after the catch to me.
Jimmy.
I think that's what just solidified. It's like he could tote that thing. Once he caught it, he was gonna do something with it.
But that team was so talented.
He
was so talented that
it was hard to bring him down once he caught it.
And we were so talented, man. Like, you know, I was telling everybody, Rob, we were rotating 5 DBs. That's how we played on varsity, was 5 DBs.
No,
and everybody would remember they wouldn't let CT come out. It'd be me, you, KT, and Carlin rotating.
When we shipped it up, they got that rotation right though because back in we didn't come out.
How y'all playing straight man in the Jaws defense, man? Jim Brown was
listen, we just had blitz. We had blitz, and don't look back, man. That was it, man. It was like blitz.
But if you can cover man, you can always go anywhere and play football.
Yeah.
You can do anything.
You can cover
man.
I
think some of that technique on the corner side, you wouldn't advise at DeSoto because they taught a trail technique at DeSoto. They taught you not to look back, watch the receivers on, but don't look back, right? That's not
if you wasn't in phase.
That's not advantageous.
But I'm gonna say this though. You got one of the and I didn't been coaching for a long time. You got one of the best in phase, look up, don't look back, see ball, get ball, interceptions. And it's 31 years old now, bro. That one you had, I think Garland or whatever it is, or South Garland, one of them games where you were in phase. I mean, you didn't look back, you looked up, ball coming at the right time. Your hands went there and got that ball. I still remember that now as being one of the best clinical ways of being able to play the fade. You didn't leave the ground for the ball. You literally ran the route as if you were a receiver because you were in such good phase with them. That still
talking
is terminology.
Yeah.
No, and I didn't see a lot of football since then and then.
Yeah, Coach Brown talk about that one.
Yeah, that was nice though, man. That was probably one of the picture perfect ways of being able to play the fade ball and not leave the ground for it.
Another thing about DeSoto though, man, like the athletes were there, man. The athletes, 9-4 set the standard. But we had some great coaches too, man. As great as Coach Dow was, Coach Brown was like they were equal. Like they were co-coaches, even though they wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like Coach Brown,
I agree with you.
probably had more esteem than Coach Dow, really.
Respect on the defense side anyway, because it was like Buddy Ryan. It was like Buddy Ryan and whoever else. Like we was like two different. We was one team.
Yes.
We was two different. We went at it in practice.
Yes.
Like, we went at it. We went at it.
Jim Brown is probably still living.
Yeah, the game was easy.
He probably still dipping.
Hey, still doing one-on-one push-ups.
He wasn't but about 5'6", 5'7".
He was a little fella, wasn't he?
He could hoop too. He thought he could play basketball.
But you didn't look at him like that. You didn't look at him like he was little in stature at all.
He was huge, man.
Yeah, but to me, I don't give all coaches the same kind of credence and credibility and stuff like that. Some of them, we were in an era where we were still getting used to being the minority. I mean, like none of us grew up having white coaches coach us, Little League football. I don't believe so. Like that was my first time interacting with white coaches when I came to DeSoto.
Yeah,
and
I can say that.
And it wasn't all good, but Ben Dow was all good. he was the perfect person to be a head coach
In that
in that
community.
program that was
In
getting
that
ready to go to
community.
that point. He was a people's person.
Yep.
He was a player's coach, but he still can
A
crack that whip
family
on you.
man.
A
A
family
family
man.
man. It goes
Uh,
without family
he
man.
was a
A
teacher. If you
loyal, a
needed help in
loyal
math, he
family
can help
man.
you in math.
Yeah.
He made that program to me because I came in when it was a different head coach initially. Byron came in, all them, it was a different head coach, and that program was to the shits as far as it had talent. They played a defensive line where we were a yard and a half off the ball, and we were taught to read. Not lying to y'all, we were a yard and a half off the ball on D line, and you were taught to read and then react. And all of
Boy,
that
you
was taught
stop.
to us. I'm telling y'all. And then Ben Dow takes over, and they say we finna do all these things different. We had so many kids that couldn't qualify because they were taking content mastery classes, doing all this stuff. He came in and said, man, we're going to change all that up. We're not going to allow y'all to be able to do that no more. He came in and said, Jim Brown, you got the defense now, because it was the floods or whatever that were in there. We finna be attacking the defense. And that's when the jaw stuff came about.
Jaws. Yeah.
We finna get after your ass. And
And
we
we was the
finna
eagle. We
blitz.
was the eagle with the jaws. You didn't know if he was jaws or eagles, baby. That was it.
Yeah.
Jaws.
And so you got to think about it from a standpoint of coming in, and then they changed the culture and they changed it, and they saw what we were about to have as far as a lot of brown kids being more dominant, and they let us loose. They let us
What
loose, dog.
what what was the two big white dudes that played on D line?
Tom Latos and
Mason.
Steve Massey,
Yeah,
Okay.
those are the ones that went
So
to Tulane and
Texas State.
okay,
yeah,
so
yeah, thank you.
when
That was Texas.
my freshman year, so because that was my first year, my freshman year. So the spring of my freshman year, that's when we had spring ball. They were still there, and
Yeah.
so that Jaws defense with them two, Todd Turner, KTU. Say, man, who the hell trying to get hit by any of y'all?
Dumb.
Like,
Yeah.
it was iron sharpening iron. Like, I mean, like
Yeah, man.
all them, you basically had a JUCO in spring ball.
That defense.
Like,
Yeah, I'm telling you, them transfers we had in. What was old boy name from Lancaster that transferred in play linebacker?
Not David
I said,
McMurray
Not
was on
McMurray, but the other
linebacker.
the running
linebacker.
back. He played running back. Dave McMurray did.
Nah, we had
Oh, we had Chris Sweet.
that's him. Sweet.
we played the game in his jeans.
Yeah, I don't remember
Where
him.
Sweet come from? Where did Sweet come from?
He didn't come from there, but he went to East Texas State though. But Chris Sweet was a great addition to the team. And like I said, man, we had an All American.
Every level, y'all had somebody that was gonna ring your bell.
Yeah, see,
Every
like
level.
when I was a sophomore, the baddest senior was Michael Bishop. I mean, Michael Benjamin.
Yeah,
Michael
that's before I
Benjamin was
got
Okay,
the
that was
All
number
American.
33.
Before I got
He went
there.
to
He
Baylor,
played
right?
Bandit. He
Yeah,
played
so like
Bandit.
and he turned down Nebraska. He
And
did the
Jesse Cox.
same thing that
Ed Carson.
BD was trying to tell Carlin not to do. Carlin did the same thing. Don't follow old girl. He followed old girl down to Baylor. And Michael Benjamin was a bad.
Yeah, I remember he looked
Mike
like a damn
Benjamin.
grown man his senior
Mike
year.
Benjamin was running 10-4, 10-5, running at 100, faster than everybody else. And he was playing the same position that Zuri played, outside linebacker, coming with all that speed. And he turned down Nebraska to go to Baylor
At that time, like in
at that
92,
time.
3, that's
Yeah,
come on, man.
that's bonkers. Hey,
Yeah.
That's
it's
ridiculous.
it's undefeated. That's all we gotta
Like,
say.
It's undefeated like a son, bitch.
Yeah,
But
man.
Robbie, I know you got to get out of here, man.
yeah.
We appreciate you coming on. Courtney, man, we appreciate you coming on late too, man, and telling us your life history and everything you got going on with your little
Yeah, I
league.
hope I didn't bore everybody too much with that shit.
No, man, because I want to get with you, man, with your little league stuff, man, and see what you got
Okay.
going on. See how I can help, man, because what you doing is what I want to do, because I got DT in the
Anytime.
coach. I got DT in the coaching, and we started. I ain't gonna say I started at the junior high level, but that's where you are the most influential at the before they get their own mind made up. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. You can really mold them, and Yeah, man. I like all that, man. I don't mind trying to help out any way I can.
Yeah, man. You got any more running back drills in you?
Come on, Dad. I play receiver, man. Come on, I'm a coach, man. And
That's what
once
I'm
you
saying.
coach, man, that never leaves. You know what I'm saying? 20 years down the line, people who you coach, they just gonna call you coach. You ain't gonna remember their name, but they gonna remember everything you did for them.
You're right about that.
That is true.
You're right about that.
That is true.
But
I'm so
yeah,
proud
man.
of you ones. Hey, I want to make sure we stay in contact, DT. I need to get y'all information too.
I can pass you everybody number. I give you everybody number,
yeah.
Robbie.
Yeah, we need to make sure we connect.
I just hit Kojak up. You get my
hey, Kojak, you remember my son, Chase the Great, baby. He coming through, Chase Rodney Brown. He at Jesuit.
How old is he right now?
In the 10th grade.
10th grade. Where are you going?
Yeah.
He said at Jesuit.
He's at Jesuit.
Oh, he at Jesuit.
Yeah, if you got a chance, come to the Shrine of Relays.
I'm gonna see you there then, Rod, because I go every year. I take my track team every year.
Oh shit! I guess we're gonna all be at the Shrine of Relays.
Yeah.
Yep, every year.
Yeah,
hey, Kojak, hey man, Bailey need to come on up there, man. Hook him up with the no crow running back, man. We got Eric Morris, dog. We gonna get this thing popping, man. Stop playing. Open your eyes.
We do need to all connect though, man.
Seriously.
That's how we grow.
We
continue to grow, man, when we can be able to use all our resources. And we all are resources, bro.
What
everybody
does is what that kid did in high school. Tempo, inside, outside zone, get it out.
Where is he at right now?
Who, Eric Morris?
Yeah.
Yeah, North Tate, he the head coach.
Oh, you talking about
who had Cam Ward at Incarnate Ward.
Okay.
Man, you better get Bailey stop playing. Our quarterback is transferring. Let's make it work.
Oh no, I'm sure DJ would love that.
Because he's short. He ain't tiny.
No. He can quack that duck like LO used to say.
I'm saying he's short in terms of what these some bitches think.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. He can quack that. He gonna complete that. He gonna make that play happen, man.
He gonna make it out.
And he'll win, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we're gonna have to get back together. But before we leave, man, how you feel your Arizona State Sun Devils gonna do in this playoff series?
And we're gonna pop Clemson.
So you said Clemson gonna beat? You said Clemson gonna beat Texas,
dog? We want to pop Clemson. We don't want to pop Texas. But it's man, to know those, that guy is so young, and
who
the head coach at Arizona State.
Okay.
And one of my teammates is there coaching with him. So to have them doing what they're doing this early on, I'm proud of them, man. I didn't go to a game this year. I've been to games in the last couple of years. I usually take out my Arizona.
You was in Florida when they had the Big 12 championship here, wasn't you?
Yeah. And every year I take my DEA team to Arizona, and we go tour the facilities, and we play a game out there in the West Coast. And this year, when they the best, we don't go west. We go back east.
Because they would pick the finish last. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
So that's why I said I know you a happy alum, because what kind of, all I remember is you had a PT Cruiser back in college, right?
I got a PT Cruiser when I went to the league.
Oh, okay.
I had a Isuzu Rodeo.
Like Hey, I don't remember who told me about your PT Cruiser, man, but
I bought a PT Cruiser. I had it 6 months before it came out. My best friend was playing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he had a dude named Sutcliffe or whatever his name was. He was able to, and I saw one with Baby and them, with the big timers. They had a PT Cruiser, and so I got to design it and do all that stuff before it came out, and I had it 6 months before it came out.
But how do you get stuff like that at Arizona? Like,
I got it. My boy was at Pittsburgh with Steelers, and I was coming out for the draft. Who? Jason Simmons. He played 10 years in the league, and now he's a DB coach,
right?
No, he's a corner.
Oh,
and then now he's the DB coach with the Washington Commanders. But he got me to hook up on that, and so that was why I got that PT Cruiser, man. Nobody else had it. Nobody else had it, dog.
I cannot remember how I knew you had. I do not remember how I remember that.
Yeah, and that's kind of me. That like when everybody else got something, I want to be more of a trend. I've always wanted to be more of a trendsetter.
Oh yeah,
in some areas.
I get that.
If at all possible, but Man, I'm happy that y'all got this show popping and stuff like that, man. And we definitely got to get y'all to some DeSoto games, man.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, I want to continue to kind of keep my eye on what you're doing with your
Oh,
team
anytime, man.
and
We
trying
got,
to
like I
support you
said, we got.
doing that.
You got to come out there and watch your practice and see all the kids. You'll
Where do
really
y'all
be.
practice at?
Most of the time at DeSoto High School.
What days?
It's, right now the season's kind of over with, but
Yeah,
we did.
get
So
that.
like so now they're gonna be in 7th grade. We practice mostly during the summer.
So that's when y'all
Um,
start back up in the summer.
we gotta. They do it's called a Texas Showcase where you play against the best out of uh East Texas, Louisiana,
So
New
when is that?
Orleans. It's going to be Valentine's Day weekend. So we starting to practice with the best out of DFW. So I'm gonna have kids all across DFW all coming together, and we'll start practicing. We got to work out this Sunday in Oak Cliff.
This Sunday.
Yeah, 2 to 4 p.m.
I give you a call, man. I want to try and come through there because I'm supposed to be getting with this cat, man. He help a lot of cats get D2 scholarships. So
Okay.
I'm gonna be getting with him trying to help him do that so I can get out of teaching because I'm tired of all that. But yeah, I'm trying to get in that recruiting area too, man. But I want to come out there and see what you got going on, man. I don't mind helping any way I can.
For sure, man. Anything we
Yeah.
can do, dog.
Yeah.
That's for real.
So
Just hit me up.
till next time, man. I'm gonna be in touch with you though. All right.
All right, boy.
I appreciate everything.
All right, Coach Jack.
All right, DT.